Speaking of medication, I saw that Alberta, they're gonna start testing mushrooms, magic mushrooms. They're gonna kind of legalize, quote unquote, legalize 17 magic types of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Shiitake.
Lion's mane.
dick butt.
Yeah. I'm here for my prescription. Yeah, I need 4 dick butt mushrooms.
Yeah.
I'll
Just
take
to help.
mushrooms as well.
That's great.
Huh?
And I'll also take mushrooms along with the dick butt.
No, a lot of places are doing it. I'm seeing that you can buy them online.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the next thing to be legalized, right? It's and people are saying mushrooms are helping with anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
PTSD. It's helping a lot of ex-soldiers,
Mental
and
stuff.
Dang.
Yeah.
retired soldiers.
Yeah, they microdose them, right?
Yeah, so that's the thing. You take a small, minute amount, so you don't have the psychological effects from it or whatever. But so people take it every day. Actually, a lot of people, and it actually it brings down your anxiety. It increases your creativity and your like people. Some people renovate their whole house on them, and they just like go nonstop.
All these colors, man, they're starting to blur. I gotta renovate the whole house.
That's
Now you're
hilarious.
talking about meth.
Oh.
They're painting their walls with shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, mushrooms and people microdose LSD too, and apparently those are two pretty similar things. If you take just small, minute amounts.
I did hear LSD. I never heard mushrooms. I heard they're trying to legalize LSD because it's supposed to be helping people.
Oh wow.
Like Andy said, with anxiety and depression,
Mental
and
health. Yeah.
peace.
All part of that psychedelics family, right?
Yeah.
What is LSD though? Is it like is it engineered or is it something natural?
That one's engineered, I think.
Yeah. See, that's kind of weird. Like marijuana and mushrooms, because it's more natural. There's no kind of weird chemicals or toxins, I guess you could say, or
Yeah, that's why I think. But mushrooms will come first because they are natural, and then.
Is it illegal though? Like, let's say if you were caught with some mushrooms, can you go to jail for that shit?
Or can you just say they're from my garden?
Yeah, they're mushrooms.
I'm making a stir fry.
They're boogers. They look like
It's
boogers.
delicious. My stir fry's delicious.
I think it's like a lot of drugs. If you have like a certain amount, like especially even like weed, right? You can only have so much before they think you're, possibly selling it or whatever. So
Interesting.
But I think mushrooms. I don't know if you're allowed to have any. If a cop
So-
on you.
Yeah.
When I go to the store, Safeway, and I pick up some white button mushrooms, should I be putting those in the trunk?
Distraction mushrooms.
Like, when the cop pulls you over, do you just quickly eat them or what?
You
Just
only
get high. Just start
you
tripping.
only have Takis on top.
You boys like Mexico?
That's crazy, man. Yeah, mushrooms.
How, what's the thing? Like, how do they know that they're illegal?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if it's a mushroom, like, I don't know. I've never seen them. So, like, if it's just a mushroom, it's like, how the fuck does this guy know that they're gonna be hallucinogenic in it, and it's not just a shiitake or
or
one of those other ones?
People make their own rules, man.
Because when you buy,
get down, motherfucker.
it's like when you got a bag of weed, you're like, oh, I just went out and bought flowers. It's like dried and crusted up. So that's like mushrooms. They're shriveled up and they're all like crusted. So it's like, oh, I bought these fresh mushrooms just 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
10 minutes ago.
They know.
Officer Doofy.
I just Googled it. According to My Health Alberta, it is against the law to grow, sell, or carry mushrooms. If you get caught, you can get a fine or go to jail. Wow. And that was
I got lots of mushrooms in the backyard.
yeah, it's crazy. Eh?
It was the same with marijuana, right? Like 4 months or
That's
over a
insane.
year ago now,
Yeah.
right? Like you could have went to jail for marijuana, now it's good.
Wow. Yeah, what are magic mushrooms? Yep. And that's from the Alberta website, so that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Dang, yeah.
Like imagine the guy that was in jail for trafficking marijuana and now it's like legal. Like,
Yeah.
how-
Yeah, but didn't those guys get pardons? I beg your pardon.
Let's say a guy served his sentence already, like 5 years.
Oh. Brutal.
He's probably the same guy who's not getting his property tax paid for. He lives
Just
in an
shit
apartment.
Just bad luck.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, but that is nuts. But the thing about mushrooms is, a lot of people are microdosing them because some people still can't smoke weed because they get piss tested at work.
Yeah.
But most drug tests, they don't test for mushrooms, so
Oh, interesting.
people find it more of a safe bet.
You got fungus.
You probably don't need a lot.
Toe
too.
fungus.
Me and Josie
Oh,
were actually
man.
talking about that, Justin. So yeah, what do you do with all those people that are maybe in jail currently right now that were just caught with marijuana? Like, do you let them go? Do you pardon them? Like, what do you do?
I think that's what they were doing.
I think they got
That's
it.
what they're doing.
They
Yeah,
are. Right?
they got it. But
Yeah.
I just wondered about like the guy who served like, I don't know, 5 or 2 or
Yeah.
whatever years, and like he got out and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's okay to have this now, man. Chill
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, man, that hurt, eh?
That's brutal, man. Yeah, no
I think
reparations.
I think that really like shows how insane some of these laws are. That they can just be like, well, it's going to be legal as long as we can make money off of it, aka the government, right? It's
Yeah.
like, but before it's legal, you're going to jail. Like, not even. Oh, that's crazy.
That's why I take things with a grain of salt, man, because
Yo, what if
people tell you that something's bad one day and then the next day it's cool, man. So
Yeah.
it's like, I take things with a grain of salt.
they said, like, what if Canada said, drug dealers, okay, go for it. As long as you submit how much you sold and we get our cut.
We get a cut. Yeah.
Eh?
Well, here's the reverse.
Because that's what, like Andy said, weed wasn't legal and it was against law. Now it's legal. But what if they just said, oh,
But at that point, Mike, you're not a weed dealer anymore. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
Sorry, man. I don't think it would change much.
huh.
Like they're still gonna take some off the top or black market it or whatever. But like, why would you sell yourself? Because like it could be like it's like selling yourself out, right? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm a drug dealer. Like
Yeah.
here's my page, right? Like
Yeah, but there's no, like, they're saying it's legal. You just have to, it's just a profession, it would be, like,
Yeah.
at this point. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, there's people that are mechanics and there's people that are drug dealers. He's just a drug dealer. Like,
you
and you just claim it.
Do you think people
Huh?
would buy more or what?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if this whole thing is,
Legalized.
like, if weed is legal, well, now it's okay. So
Yeah.
why didn't they just make, and mushrooms are going to be okay? Maybe it's just going to be some dude's profession.
Yeah.
I think it's just
You know what I mean?
perspective, Mike. I think if you go to school and get a degree, and then you get a job at Shoppers, now you're not a drug dealer. You're a pharmacist. You're still dealing drugs and making money. So
But people have made it a profession, like marijuana and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Not all drug dealers, but they pretty
Hey,
much
what?
right.
Like cartel.
well,
and
they
shit.
were bootleggers before. Now they're farmers, right? It's all
Exactly.
terminology. yeah.
Exactly, man.
Hmm.
So they are technically drug dealers, but they just call them farmers or harvesters or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference?
Or they just probably haven't got caught yet, or they're in ties with
Well, no,
like, politics.
they're the ones that own these like pot plants, right? That own the farms.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I'm
That's what-
thinking about like hard drugs, like cocaine and shit,
Well,
like
yeah,
Breaking
those
Bad.
Columbia Special, man.
Well, that was the philosophy going back to what Mike was saying. But now hard drugs. So if you legalize like cocaine, meth, or you would if the government
just say like acid, ecstasy, like ones that aren't as crazy.
meth, coke, heroin.
Everything.
if they legalized it and everyone was whether manufacturing or doing it themselves, and you probably get some really bad coke or whatever. But think about all the business that the cartel would lose. Think about all the crime that probably would go down from drug deals, right? Because if it's legal and everyone's doing it.
I totally agree, Young. Like,
Yeah.
legalize it all, have it all, and that's kind of when I started eating edibles and stuff too, because now that it's regulated, you know what percentage what you're getting, you know if it's THC or if it's CBD, if it's mind altering or good for your muscles or whatever. But but it's right once it's regulated, then
I'm
it takes
laughing
the
at
fear away.
Justin.
And like
Exactly.
you're saying, Young, it takes away a lot of the dirty drugs, right?
Yeah.
But the reason they haven't done that is because they need control. Alcohol was the first thing they legalized.
Yeah.
And how long did it take them to legalize weed after that?
Prohibition, right? Even the
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know the
the
history of
thing.
the prohibition, but even that, I think that was like years, and people went to jail, and people were killing each other for just alcohol, right?
And it's not just the government being able to capitalize on this. Like, they have to do it in conjunction with the pharmaceutical companies, because like literally, people take marijuana now and they don't buy aspirin, they don't buy muscle relaxant, all sorts of medication, just completely could be eliminated. So, and that's the same with anxiety medication, depression medication, when mushrooms becomes legal.
But think about all the jobs. Think about all the jobs the marijuana business created for even just Alberta too. Like we have like one of the, I think, world's biggest or North America's largest marijuana farms, I guess you could say. But again, if they,
BC bud, man, we got, we're known for some of the best marijuana, if not in the world, right?
Yeah. And now if they legalize mushrooms, I'm sure there's going to be like Aurora mushroom farms or Nova mushroom farms, you know what I mean? And it'll just create more industry for Alberta.
But aren't like the psychedelics like marijuana and mushrooms, like aren't they easier like manipulated, like instead of like cocaine or like heroin, like, you know what I mean? Like it would be harder to overdose on marijuana and mushrooms than it would be, at a certain level of cocaine or heroin. So I think they're going to stay away from that because it's just too hard to regulate, right? And they don't want to be responsible.
But you could
death. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Sorry, they want the cartel to be responsible for all these horrific deaths. I don't think they want to have that on their.
That's a good point.
On the government.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But you
the government sold me this.
You can also overdose off pretty much all prescription medication.
Or even liquor.
A lot of it.
Alcohol. You can overdose on alcohol.
Disclaimer, right? Like, this will get rid of my headache. Like, cocaine's never been that way. It's like, maybe it gets rid of your headache and gives you a few other things.
Yeah.
That's not how it's been advertised, right? Like, it's all what they tell you, right? Yeah. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that they don't want that on their hands.
Exactly. But people overdose and die from liquor, alcoholism, addiction, right? So like Andy said, if you microdose and control it responsibly, which most people probably won't because cocaine's a party drug or meth's a whatever drug, people will OD for sure.
Reno your house drug.
I'm putting in a new kitchen.
Why think they're
so productive?
You'll have to build a whole house.
Is it
for 3 stories in 2 months, man?
Isn't Adderall? It's a prescription drug, but I heard like university kids or professionals use Adderall, and it just keeps you like, it gives you energy, it just keeps you up all night, and people study. Yeah,
people on Wall Street too. It's like if you want that edge on the competition, like you're gonna take some, and people do that with coffee, right? So
that's true.
It's like this.
And what's that called, Young? And where do I get some?
But coffee and Adderall, it's like comparing minor leagues to the major leagues, right? Like,
okay.
It does the same thing, but there's a huge gap there as far as affecting you, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah, I got to take. What was the first one that said? I got to drink a cup of coffee to go pump gas for my 8-hour shift. It's like I got to take Adderall to close this 24-hour stock business meeting.
or just work 12 hours straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to take this Adderall to finish the kitchen reno I started
this morning.
Without blinking. I don't want to miss a thing.
Your eyes are so dry. Yeah.
All I'm playing is Aerosmith. I don't want to close my eyes. I'm asleep.
Your wife's like, come to bed.
I'm fucking renoing the kitchen again.
One thing I thought was really cool about a lot of the music festivals we go to, like Shambhala, Motion Ocean, with the electronic music, the EDM.
Yeah.
A lot of them now, they're having booths where they'll test your drugs for you.
Oh, wow.
So let's say someone at the festival sells you MDMA or cocaine, whatever it is,
and it's laced with fentanyl.
Well, that's what they do. You take it to the testing tent, and they test it. They got the microscope, the drops, and then they tell you if it's garbage or not. And so you're not getting these ODs anymore as much.
That's a good idea.
Well, that's smart. At least it saves lives, right? Like at least testing. Right?
It's even a mental thing too, because if you know something's okay, then you get in a good headspace when you do get high.
I'd say that probably would prevent you from oh my god, what the fuck is this? What did I just take? And then you're thinking about you're paranoid, and then you're on something that you don't know, and now you're even more paranoid. Now you're randomly in your kitchen.
And people are now you're throwing tents over the fence.
Yeah. But really, all you have is a tent, so you really just cut a hole in your tent.
Now you made a cabin.
Have you ever been in a kitchen with 3 islands in it? That's cocaine.
Well, they do that in Edmonton.
3 little baby islands.
You
Don't they do
chop
that?
your one island into 3.
Don't they do that in BC and Edmonton too? Like, don't we for like the heroin addicts? Don't they have like facilities where they kind of test and regulate and kind of monitor heroin
Yeah,
addicts?
they have like junkie stations, right? I think
Yeah.
they'll inject you too, like safely, I guess.
Exactly.
I think it's just I don't think I don't think the correct term is junkies. Junkie station.
Yeah, they're actually called needle enthusiasts.
Yeah, I think they're just called safe injection sites. But yeah,
You've been to Junkie Junction?
yeah.
Junkie Junction.
Oh, I know of one safe injection site, Mike.
Hot beef.
Yeah, odd beef injection or what?
Yeah, she's a cute little Italian number right now
Oh
in
shit.
Toronto.
Oh, shit.